Welcome to the Morning Nerdy News. I'm your host, Gray Falcon. We're going to go ahead and dive right into the news. We're going to start off on IGN, where the Division 2 is to get a 100-floor skyscraper PvE endgame mode. So, IGN is covering this new mode, which was talked about during Ubisoft's YouTube presentation, the State of Game live stream. So during this, they talk about this 100-floor skyscraper and how every 10 levels they will have a new boss where you go up and you fight them, and then that gives you basically a save point during this skyscraper to come back later if you want. And so every 10 floors you progress, you get another boss, all the way up to floor 100. However, the actual levels will change each time you go in to complete the entire skyscraper. So you'll go in, you'll face different factions, you'll have different layouts supposedly. So it's just to mix it up and give it some variety. This is similar to what they've done over in Final Fantasy XIV, where they've set up the towers for you to go in and defeat the different bosses and earn different awards. So this is the new Endgame. This is available to anyone who has the Warlords of New York expansion. The Witcher Wild Hunt 3 is going to get a complete edition on the Xbox Series X and the PS5 and PC. This edition is going to be enhanced and will include ray tracing and faster loading times across the base game, both expansions and extra content. So anyone who already owns these games, thanks to CD Projekt Red, and remember this is also true for Cyberpunk 2077, which is coming out, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will release as a standalone purchase for these, as well as free updates for everyone who already owns the game on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. Heading over to Wccftech, Ubisoft Immortals, Fenyx Rising release date leaked through the Xbox Store alongside of screenshots. So we will be getting this game on December 3rd, and it will support smart delivery. So if you purchase this on your current Xbox and you upgrade later on, you'll be able to play it in the higher quality, possible ray tracing and other special effects. This game is coming out December 3rd. It'll be roughly 30 gigs, and you'll be able to get that free upgrade if you purchase it on one system and then move to the next with Xbox. No news on that in regards to PlayStation from PlayStation 4 to PS5. And then PUBG has an announcement over on their mobile side. They have banned over 2 million people, 1,400,000 account devices have been permanently suspended from access to the game for cheating. These include speed cheats, other auto-aim cheats, and X-ray vision. So if you've ever gone through, looked at PUBG on mobile and wondered why you're having so many problems with some of the other people that are on there, it's because there are people out there that are cheating at this. So good on PUBG. And then also on Twitter, it looks like we have news of the Xbox Series X price. And this comes from South Africa, where Pringles appears to have accidentally released the pricing. And they have the Xbox Series X at around 13,500 ZAR. So I did some conversions, and other sites are saying that this looks like about a $600 price, but based off of this morning's value of what the ZAR is to US, it was $811. So I don't expect that to actually be the case in the US. However, I could see a $600 price tag. Of course, that also has to do with other taxes and duties and things that get applied when a product is shipped into that country. So oftentimes we'll see if this holds to be true, or this could just be a higher pricing simply because of the cost to get it into that market. We have a list from IGN with 50 games with RTX and DLSS available or coming soon. So with all the talk of the new games coming out, with the graphics cards for Cyberpunk being shown off with DLSS and ray tracing, and then they went in and showed the 8K running, which is, as we found out, is actually a version of 1440p being upscaled. However, the people who talk about it say they also saw the game in native 8K and it ran really slow. Like the frames per second were terrible. But when they switched over to the DLSS 2.0 setup, they could not tell graphically a difference between the native 8K and the 8K setup through the upscaling effectively. So the new software that Nvidia showed off with that, with the pixel filling and everything, looked really good. So this technology is very promising. Doesn't mean that we'll be able to see that and get that on current gen systems, but you'll be able to go down, check out this list, see that, Battlefield 5 includes the ray tracing, that it's available for DLSS on things such as Anthem, and these things are also coming soon. So DLSS helps with ray tracing, but it also helps with compute processing for frames per second. So it's a lot more than just the actual ray tracing portion, which is being handled by those special cores inside of the new game systems and on PCs that have a RDNA 2 card, which haven't been announced for what those are price points yet, or one of the new Nvidia cards, which were just announced, and the first ones come out on September 17th. And then final news for Nvidia, we have an update where over on Reddit they had a Q&A, and they talk about how the 3080 will be able to do 4K between 60 and 100 frames per second. And Justin Walker was the one who was doing the conversation and covering this. And effectively it goes into talking about how Borderlands 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, and several other games at 4K with max settings will be able to have a range of 60 to 100 frames per second, varying by game, and use anywhere from 4 gigabit to 6 gigabit memory. Now, this is also taking advantage of things like DLSS in order to process this, plus the new ray tracing cores and the tensor cores, which do the AI processing in order to go through and help with that DLSS process and create these images and help build that faster. So if you want to read more about this, you can head over to Wccftech, read through their full review there. And if you scroll down, they do have the Reddit link there, so you can go through and read what was actually written and said. But that has a lot of other comments in there from users, and not all of those were answered. So you'll have to kind of dig through that. But they do have the basis here. And you can also, up at the top, they have a link that takes you over to the question and answers on Wccftech that specifies just the conversation where Nvidia actually responded, so you can read through all of that. Again, if you haven't already, make sure to click that follow. And if you're watching this over on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button. And be sure to hit me up on Twitter as the Gray Falcon, and you can update me with any news that you may see that you want to see in here, or if you just want to have a conversation while I'm offline. Until next time, have a good one.